Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, August 12th, 2026. How is everyone? My apologies for yesterday. I woke up and I decided not today. Not today. My voice is a little gravelly. Barry White's got nothing on me. But we thought we would try it again today, and we'll see what happens. So far, so good. Slumberland, hello. David, hello. Gabriel, karaoke stream. Gabriel, for whatever reason, your emails always end up in my spam folder, and I think I think you might have sent me something maybe today. And I think I saw your name as I was deleting my spam, so I didn't read whatever you sent today. If you can resend that, that'd be great. I don't know how. I constantly say do not mark as not junk, and it still sends your stuff to junk. I don't know why. So blame it on the eclipse. Did I see Platinum is raising prices 66% on pens starting September, including the new Trado, the one they just designed like the 3776. Yeah, I did get a price increase sheet. Yep. Yeah, we had decided we were going to kind of hold off on some of the platinum just because even the classic Mach-E were. Uh, I mean, I don't know. I don't. I can't foresee that the price is going to come down. So at some point, either the market's going to stabilize and people will just be accepting of the new prices, or they're going to lose sales and either have to adjust, or what we don't want is them to go out of business. But um, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I mean, I had a bad throat yesterday, and my back. I hurt of all stupid things. I hurt my back lifting a monitor. And I know you think you're nuts. You don't think I'm nuts, but I actually, just to make sure it wasn't me. Now, I think part of it was sitting in a car for 15 hours straight. Your spine compresses in my lower back, which I always have problems with. Um, I mean, it's just sitting there in the same spot. But I leaned down to pick up this monitor, and that was it. Um, it had a grudge against me. Not sure why. So my daughter came in today to do some photography, and I said, "Hey, you got to check out my new monitor." Now I have two monitors in the shop, and so she saw the one, which was just a regular 20. I don't know what it is, 27-inch something. And she goes, "That one." I go, "No, no, 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 no. This one over here." She goes, "Oh my goodness, that's huge." I said, "Yeah. Try to pick it up, but don't hurt yourself." So she bends down, she does the proper lifting motion. She goes, "Holy crap, that thing is heavy. It's got to be like, I don't know, 30, 40 pounds. Humans need recharging." Yeah. Um, so my back would get better throughout the day. My throat would get better throughout the day, Dayquil, whatever. And, and then I go to bed and I wake up the next morning. I wake up and my back hurts I can barely get out of bed. Um, I guess the Dayquil and the NyQuil wore off, and I said, you know what? Lisa's like, drop me off at work, go home, go to sleep, pick me up. Just remember to pick me up at 6:30. Like, okay, fine. You know. So that's what I did yesterday. I actually only slept for like 2 hours, and then I did some work on the Estabrook site. But hung out with the cats, that kind of thing. Um, there was a link to an eBay listing 6 new old stock Estabrook J. Looked like a pack, sold to dealers, one of each color. Ended up going for $486. That's a lot of bread. That's a lot of bread for vintage Estabrook. Modern pen price increases means vintage pen prices become even better values, or it means vintage pen prices go up, right? I don't know. I worry about that. You know, what used to be a $125 pen, well, now gold prices are up. Is a $125 pen now a $175 pen? You predict vintage Esterbrook go up in need. Yeah, I hope so. I got a bunch. What's going over on YouTube today? Juicy, Kathleen, Russell, hello. Yeah, I'm real quick on deleting my spam. I have a kind of a ritual I go through multiple times a day. I just I want those boxes cleaned out. I'm also going through old email accounts that I have that I keep for, you know, when somebody needs an email address or something, I throw it in something else. I have one account that has 17,000 emails. Now, I'm down from 18,000, so there is that. Flooding in Wisconsin? I don't have anything here. Nothing here. So I was tempted to take today off too, but I got stuff to do. I can't delete those accounts. I can't. There's certain reasons I need them, but I don't need. It's hard to explain. I've had them for a while. I don't need email confirmations of purchase orders. You know, in 15 years of that, you know, so I also don't need, you know, I have I have two accounts that I'm going through. One has 17,000 emails in it, and it's a lot of that stuff. Because there's a lot of stuff in there that I want to keep. And then the other one, I have, I think, 1,800. So that one's not too bad. Each one's, you know, and that one I probably gotten rid of 1,000. But, you know, those are old, like, hey, I've got an Esterbrook I need repaired. How much does it cost? Where can I send it? Like, you know, from 15 years ago. Like, I don't need that email. Don't need it. I need to be better about that kind of stuff. So I spend a little time, try to spend a little time, a couple times a week, going through, deleting 200-300 emails in a shot. I mean, it will take forever. But I'm also reminded of good times and good friends and friends who have passed through that. So, not to get sappy. You're an amateur, your emails 199,000 messages right now. And I don't even know what the total number used to be, because I went through and I started deleting. I originally started by size. And so, you know, I get people who send me, hey, I've got this pen. Can you fix it? You know, here's some pictures. And, you know, they send me like 20 megs of pictures. You know, and I've got like 100 of those. You know, those need to go. I don't need a picture of a green J double jewel with the, you know, with the broken section. You know, I don't need that. So I started doing that, you know, and then I'd play all these games to try to figure out, you know, how to reduce the box down in size. And then I started on the other end of the spectrum, the lowest size, because those are the easiest to read quickly. You know, the emails that came through with no text. Why am I keeping that? You know, and you know, and that box doesn't accumulate hardly anything anymore. So, but I mean, I still have some old friends who use that address and they can't switch over to the new ones. You know, 199,000. Holy, I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start with that. I wouldn't even know where to start. That's, you know, you do 1,000 a month, that's 15 years. 250 a week. Oh my God. All right. Oh, hang on. Hello. today. All right, mommy came. It's a mommy package. Anyway, all right. Let's take a look at what we got today. What was that? Jeez. I got a possible solution for this, but I'm gonna have to wait because there's no modern sack that's designed like the sack that this was used for, except for a sack that is available that I don't ever have, and that's the Inkview sack, which I think might be able to be modified so that it works. Vendor site says the Inkview. Okay. So I'm gonna try to get a couple of those. The question is whether or not we can actually get this open or not. I think if we can get that, I'm actually half tempted to say let's bring the parts over here. And here are the parts again. I'm half tempted to say that this reminds me somewhat of Japanese switch fillers, in that I don't necessarily think this needs shellac on this part. I think we might be just lucky enough just to get the dang thing on there, much less have to worry about putting shellac on. But I'm not certain. Because it goes in that way. And then somehow I'm supposed to have to slide that on. I just don't understand the thinking process behind this. So I'm going to try, I think there's two sizes of Inkview, so I'm going to try the Lady, which I think is the only one that my colleague has in stock, I believe. Probably the smaller size anyway. And we'll see if we can get it in there. But that's going to take another... I got to message him. It's probably going to take another week. He has a lengthwise cutaway at Safari in his site, really? So anyway, that's where we're at with this guy. The irony is I'm going to actually end up restoring one of these. Now this part, I don't know if it... how this comes apart. But we'll have to see. So anyway, that's where we're at with that. All right, so we are going to try real quick. This has been soaking for a couple of days. If not, I'm going to try naphtha next. See if we can get this off. So I did have a brief conversation with our friend Scott Newman from 15 Pens in Canada. I showed off his stuff on Monday. He's working on getting some of this stuff up on the website. So keep emailing him. 15pens.ca. I believe is the address. Those cool tools that he sent me. We're going to be working with those. We'll probably get to those maybe next week. I don't know that we won't get to them today for sure. Maybe next week. Maybe tomorrow, but next week for sure. Anybody who makes tools needs support, and I'm happy and more than happy to tell everybody. I mean, these look like cool tools. They really look like cool tools. So, if you need stuff for snorkels and touchdowns, you kind of need these tools. Parker really put this crap on hard, didn't they? I got to go look at this Richard Binder's website here. Oops. Let's take a look at that. Assuming we can find it. Let's see. Reference pages, probably. Be nice if you had a search feature here. Am I missing that somewhere? Oh, there it is. Quick search. Maybe it's under the Penn Encyclopedia. Nope. Not there. Gabriel, do you have a link for that by chance? Billing systems, maybe. Well, don't see it. I'll dig for it later, I guess. Nope. We're going to let that soak, see what happens. All right. Okay, so the rest of the day. Actually, let me get another tray here real quick. These are all the Japanese pens that I picked up in DC. We're going to go through each one of them, clean them up. And get them ready. Because I'm probably going to... well, actually, the first thing I need to do is I need to decide whether or not I'm actually going to keep any of these for myself. Believe me, I am tempted by at least 3 of them. At least 3. That way. Yeah, a lot of black pens with gold trim. If you haven't added a pen to your collection since the DC show, that might be the time. I mean, it has been what? It's Wednesday already. I haven't bought a pen since Saturday. You want to know which ones I'm interested in? Yeah, I left the show early. And for the first time in a long time, I spent every single penny I had. And it was hilarious. And let me tell this story since David's in the room. So my good friend David and I were trading as we do. And I love those trades because it's always, he gets rid of stuff he doesn't want. He gets cash. I get stuff to play with. It always works out. And there's never, I don't think there's never any pressure on either side, to make the deal. I mean, it's a really, yeah. I mean, we trade, and then usually he's got a binder of stuff that's it's for sale, and it works out. I think it works out, and it's always a good time. And sometimes I see the same thing for quite a number of shows in a row, and then I keep looking at it and like, why haven't I bought this before? Oh yeah, that's why. So anyway, so we're sitting there, and since I had gotten these tools from Scott, And if you didn't see the introduction on these tools, I talk about them on Monday's stream. This one here too. And he 3D and he also told me he 3D prints this case. He can't sell it, but you can 3D print it, and it's modular and it's really really awesome. 15 pens, by the way. Check them out. So I needed to get some snorkels because I don't have any in the queue. I'm really pretty much flush out, and David had some. We're sitting there. We're trading. He says, "Okay, we get to the end, and it's a couple sets. And I know David's always got snorkels and touchdowns, and I just want something so I can use the tools, and promote Scott. And he looks at me and he says 235, and I smile because I know, and this is no joke. There's not another penny. I pull out my last little tiny wad of cash in my pocket. There's $230 in my pocket. So that sort of worked out. But that was funny. I thought it was fun. But yeah, I haven't bought a pen since I don't think I've acquired. Well, let's see. Did I acquire something since then? I don't think so. So I think these are probably all pretty good. A couple I'm not so certain. Plus I need to take a little inventory of what's got converters and what doesn't. This is one of the candidates. I've always wanted one of these. Pilot Custom 67. I mean, they're out there. So if I don't grab this one, there will be another one. Precursor to the 74. Pilot Custom Urushi. And I think this is in the Custom Grandi Urushi. Beautiful nib. Conical. I think this feed is even Urushi too. I love this nib. It's gorgeous. Oh, that one is, but this one isn't. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? How about this one? Nope, not on that one either. Pen Addict. Raid for 87. Thanks, Brad. T.U. Lee, what's cooking? Fuzzy. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. We got 87 date code on this one with the Urushi feed. 87? Yes. August 87, here at Soka. And these I better August 90. Olive, how you doing? Yeah, these two are identical. August 1990. This one 87. Yeah, that has to be Urushi. Look at that. And compare that to this one. Super. Well, I know which one I want to keep now. Right? I mean, and it's got the tag. How can I not keep that? You're cooked, but you feeling okay? Yeah. Yeah, I got the Barry White thing going on today. And yesterday was just a disaster. It was like literally, I'm driving to work thinking to myself, and it's a 4.5 mile drive to work, and I'm thinking I should not be driving. Is what I was thinking. I was not cognizant. I was just really. Rushi's only on the underside of the feet. Yeah. That's pretty awesome though. That's if I don't put this one up for sale, and I wait like a couple of weeks, then it wouldn't be so bad. But they're all marked Arushi on the back of the cap. And this is the other one. I don't think I have one of these. Your voice is still coming back. It goes in my personal stash. It should. It really should. I've had a few of these, and they're Beautiful. Beautiful. But I've never kept one. I had a set once, which was really cool in the box. I don't think I have one of these Grandes with this clip. I've always wanted one. This is the third one that I would keep. But they're reasonably common, I think. And I'm sure David's going to tell me which one I need to keep. He's really good about convincing me. As long as I can make money on all this stuff, it doesn't matter how many. It does matter how many I keep, but I gotta make money. Grande L. Cool nib. You'd be keeping all of them? Yeah, the Alabo was cool too. This is really cool too. I think I'm gonna sell it. I don't really have much of an interest in it, but it's neat because not only is it the Alabo and not the Falcon, but it's a friction fit cap and not a screw cap. I think that's super cool. I think it's a saw. What is it? Saw fine. Saw fine. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, let's continue disassembly. Oh yeah, okay. Maybe there's 4. This one, look at that. It's got a little bit of girth to it. It's got this cool pattern to it. It's actually got a little bit of a frosted cap band. Kind of see that? What a great pattern. Friction fit cap. This tray is different, yeah. It's so nice. It's big. It posts nice. Oh my goodness. Big nib. So Lumberland, you're not helping here. I mean, like, I want it, but I gotta make money. Right? This is the best of the lot. If I was gonna keep 2, maybe I go down to 2. So I don't need a 67. You can find those. And that custom Grande with this open clip. You can find those. This is not easy to find. It's pretty sweet. What's the date code on the nib on this one? We have a date code? If there's a date code, it's underneath. Con 70. The good Con 70 too. All right, what do we got here? We got another custom Grande or custom. These are nice too. Code may be below this section. Yeah, inside this section. Yeah. Do I need another modern pen? Well, it's that area of Japanese pens that I do like. Not necessarily modern, but pseudo-modern, you know? Like if I had enough, I would collect these too. These are super nice. I don't need this though. This currently doesn't fit. Do I need another modern pen? But I just love the design of this clip. I mean, it reminds me of an Esterbrook, really, an Esterbrook transitional clip, just the ribbed on it. It's just elegant, color dot on the top. Define need. You know, I'm happy to take a less than normal salary to get free pens. That's, you know. Now, out of all the vintage pens I bought, there are none that I'm not keeping any of them, so. But, you know, I also got that's Sakura Nagare. So, you know, that's really good. Fine nib on this president. I think this has never been inked. This one's pretty clean too. I forget which pattern that actually is. Medium nib on the classic Mach-E. Sailor needs a little help, but it's got that stinking Zogan inlay, so we can't put it in the ultrasonic. Shalana with the original converter. Look at that. How great is that? That's a happy day. You get a Shalana and you got a converter. You were just chatting at Brad's stream about how the president is a super underrated pen. Yeah, it's a great pen. You know, I think the problem is that it's not that much bigger than a 3776 in girth. It's got a different clip. The nib is 18 versus 14K, and it's got a little bit different pattern on the you know, and that's it. This Kabazaiku is dirty. Holy cow. There's still, say, if there's ink in that converter, I'm out of here. I just put new water in my ultrasonic, so that's really gonna mess it up. This program is something I should not have bought. But I had seen it before. That's pretty inky. Oh, this isn't gonna fit in here now, is it? I need another tray. What's that go for? Which one? This one's awesome. Awesome pen right here. I should keep this one too, is what I should do. Old style zoom nib. All right, so we'll put that. All right, let's start with this tray. These Quattros, I think are really cool pen. They made some really cool color combinations. I've seen like turquoise and I think orange, and these have probably been cleaned, but we're gonna clean them anyway. Yeah, Quattros are quite slim. Yeah. I mean, they're not. I compare it to, say, a Vanishing Point. And the vanishing point is actually quite chunky, so. Yeah, the Shalana is nice, isn't it? Isn't it? It's a nice pattern, and it's got that converter in it, which I realize really bumps up the price a lot. All right. So I'm going to need to write a sheet here so I know what's what here. Your jam are the MYU 25s. You got all except for the demonstrator. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this one. $414. And so we've got the number 3. This is the custom slim. Thank you to David for identifying this one. 1087 date code. $67. No date code, probably underneath. Let's see. This is the Alabo. I'm going to do these manually just because I'm being paranoid. So these are Bushi. Yeah, I'm going to have to look through that catalog later too. And last but not least on this tray, and I think these are all pretty clean, so I'm just going to kind of do these first so I don't mess up the water. 985. This is the L. Let's see if we got any ink at all coming out of them. Oh, yeah. Yeah, one. Did I know about these before DC, or was it a nice surprise? Well, so this is a funny story, actually. I was at a friend's table, and he had all of these and some ballpoints and pencils. Japanese pilot ballpoints and pencils on the table. And on Thursday, I bought a few things from him. He got almost half my money, by the way, at the show. I looked down and I saw all these pens, and I said to myself, I said, well, maybe he'll make a deal. And occasionally I do this partly for fun, partly to see if it'll happen, partly, because and a lot of times this technique doesn't work. But I looked down and I said, well, how much for the whole tray? Yeah, I don't know. I said, well, I'll have to think about it. I'll have to add them up. I'll let you know tomorrow. It doesn't always work. Sometimes people get weird about that. Like they don't want to, either they give you like a $20 discount for buying 20 pens, or they don't want to sell the whole tray, or, I once offered to buy an entire table. It was completely obnoxious, and I realize it, but I must have had some cash at the time. It was at the end of a show, and there were an entire table. Yeah. I said, well, how much for the whole table? I mean, you never know unless you ask. You never know. Their response at the time, which I found very interesting, was, well, if we sell it all to you today, then I don't have anything to take to the next show. I mean, which I thought was kind of a funny reaction, because, like, well, isn't the goal to sell all this stuff? I mean, yeah, you want to go and see your friends and all that stuff, but yes, yeah, the point is to sell them, right? And that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, because they were making, I bought like 1 or 2 pieces off of them, and they made me a really great deal on the pens. And I thought, well, why not? I mean, there was nothing on the table that was, you will buy airfare this second if I want to buy all of your pens. That hurt their feelings. I mean, I don't know. I know there are some people that go to shows that if you bought all their stuff, they'd be more than happy, and that they would never have to go to another show again. But they were like, well, no, and they were really perplexed, because they were like, well, if I sell everything to you, then I don't have anything to take to the next show. I'm thinking, well, so yeah, that time it didn't work out. But you never know. And so now you go with trays or something, I mean, you got to do something you can afford. You can't offer to buy. Yeah, you can still go to the show and enjoy it as a bonus. You avoid the table fee. You avoid having to be the constraints of sitting behind the table all day. I tell you, there is nothing more fun than being able to, I mean, and it sounds stupid because all y'all are on the other side of the table. It's fun to go from this table to that table to this table to that table, back, forth. I mean, it's fun to be behind the table and make money, but you pay for it because you can't be out there buying fun stuff. Yeah. You can walk around the show, you don't have to sell anymore. It makes no sense. Well, and they weren't young either, right? So I was thinking, well, maybe this is something that might appeal to them. And I've never seen him at a show since, believe it or not. Yeah, I mean, there's built-in restraint at the table. Although, community and haggling is the New York City way. You give it up on understanding human behavior. Although, I will tell you this. If you're sitting behind the table and you're selling pens, the propensity to spend too much is greater because now you have money. You may have had a budget before But now you've got more money coming in. You know what I'm saying? I need ink in this pen. What's going on here? You know, because if you've been at a show for a couple of days, you've got some cash hanging around. You know, you're not going to miss. You're not going to miss a few hundred here and a few hundred there until you go home and you realize you got to rebuy what you just sold. Although I will say, because I had a couple of deliveries. I had some repair supplies and things that I brought to the show for someone, and they gave me cash, and guess what? I spent that cash. I didn't save it. It went into my pile. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We got 21 actually. Scandalous. Yeah, that extra $30. I did actually do something we don't normally do, is because we have a budget and I stick to the budget. And I actually, Gary, hello, how you doing? I actually did buy one pen. We bought one pen that we actually used Zelly for, because I was concerned my cash was getting low. Yeah, and a lot of nice looking pens in the tray. All need to be cleaned. So we got a president. Classic Maquier, Sailor 21, we'll do by hand. Solana. We got a Kabazaiku. Klein nib and a slim and a medium, new style. And then we have a Zoom old style. All right. Doc's calling you. Have a great day. All right. Thanks for tuning in. My voice is sounding better. Keep pumping fluid down. I mean, I know I shouldn't be drinking soda, but Lisa has a soda with lunch, and then she says, well, I say to her in the morning, I said, well, do you want a soda for lunch? And she says, well, take whatever you'll drink. Okay. Oh, I love this. I love this sale. It's so great. Drop that in there. These sailors are disgusting. I don't actually want to put those in with the other clean pens just yet. Get you some hot toddies. When I get home, I've been having, Lisa's making me tea and this looks new old stock too. I try to keep all the clean ones all in the same bin. So the goal today, get these cleaned, get writing samples, get them ready for tomorrow. If there are any that you're interested in, anybody listening, watching, I will be showing them on the podcast tomorrow. I don't actually have pricing on them quite yet. But if you want to get in line, email me. Tell me exactly which ones you want. Please be as specific as you can. I had, a couple weeks ago, we had those Conway Stewarts, and I had somebody email me and said, what's the price on all the Conway Stewarts? I gave him the price. He never emailed me back. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I mean, people do buy multiples, but I'll take the Black Pilot. Yeah, right. Okay. I mean, give me your credit card and I'll charge you for the Black Pilot. And I'll start at the top of the price range. How much for the tray? Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, Fuzzy. I don't know. That's good. I like that. Good for you. Don't make me laugh. Oh, that's funny. All right. Convenient ad break. There we go. All right, let's see what we got here. These all look really, really clean. Really should have pulled these out before putting that sailor nib in there. All right, we'll start with that. And I don't know what happened at the beginning of the stream. I always run the ads right in the starting soon portion. And For whatever reason, it got done with the 3 minutes of ads and then it ran 3 more. So I don't know what was cooking there. How much for the whole tray? That's funny. Yeah, there we go. There's a shameless self-promotion right there. If you have Amazon Prime, you can view the stream for free without ads. Isn't that the truth? We actually, I've got it in the calendar. I've got Prime. Every month you can go in and with Prime you have to do it every month. But then you don't see any ads. Boy, I hate this converter. It's the worst converter ever. You know what? I'm just going to use these. I'm going to go through these squeeze converters and make sure they're... Why they ever went away from these squeeze converters, I'll just have... I mean, look how great that is. Perfect. Beautiful. That doesn't fit on there, though. And if you subscribe, I greatly appreciate it. Basically what it does is it buys me a coffee every once in a while. Oops. That's a platinum. It's not going to work in that, is it? Nine months of coffee. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Woo. That's awesome. Thank you. There, that pop-up cleared. So this converter just unsacked itself. In my pen. So it must be these these don't use any shellac. Now David, you probably can speak to this better than me, but I don't see any shellac on this at all. And it just literally just came apart inside that section. Oh, Gabriel, oh, thank you too. All right. So if this is in here, because it's not going anywhere, so I can't imagine it needs shellac. You've used a bit of shellac? Yeah, because it just comes out. All right, well, doing all sorts of weird things this week. We'll let that dry out. So I had to do some sorting last night. I have my desk pens and my dipless pens. Put a modern Con 40 in them and keep the discontinued ones for yourself. Yeah. I just hate how these work, though. Why does Pilot think that this is acceptable? What I mean, is there some special trick? I mean, it goes to there. And if I have to fill this with a syringe, then why don't I just use a syringe to fill the cartridge, because I get more capacity? Right? I mean, if I got to do this trick and hold it up and leak ink all over myself, that didn't work. Do you think they'll ever acknowledge what a crappy converter this is? I mean, the only nice thing is it does fit in older vanishing points. It fits in E95S's, and it fits in older. We're stuck with it. Yeah, they probably got to make like tens of millions of these to amortize their cost, right? Well, I mean, they made modifications to the Con 70, so why can't they make modifications to the Con 40? I like the more compact size of it. Right? I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't? Here we go. Here's a platinum converter. Wow, these are all new. Even this classic Mach-E, which I got from a different person. And this President, clean as can be, never inked. These things are never inked. All right. I'm trying to think. I had a really cool Quattro at one point. I want to say it was like orange and blue or something. Really neat color. Here's my list. That one goes there. This one's for the one that I want. So what's the better choice? Let's put this one out to everybody. Be right back. Boss lady is driving up. Let's do this. You're keeping one. Yeah. You're keeping one. Which do you keep? The Rushi? With the Rushi feed? And price sticker? Or this one, which is the Lagance? I mean, look how much bigger that is. Cool matte finish on the cap bands. You are not helping, Slumberland. I said one. One. Indy. Oh. You're not helping. I could actually use the bigger one. You will not advise further than that. I will say that I have seen more of the Urushi than I have the other one. I just never expected to have 3 at once, you know, in which case, if you take one, then no big deal, right? But I just love how the Urushi is just, it's just so elegant. It's just beautiful. All right, so we've got those clean. Next up, we're going to ink them. Goes there. Okay. It's really helpful to do this when you're cleaning multiple pens. Especially when you have something like a pile that has a date code on it. You're here to help, huh? Well, usually what I do is, what I do? Usually what I do is if there's something I want, I don't put it up for sale for a while until the mourning period has passed. And then if I still want it, then we see how long it's been. Yeah, these are as clean as can be. I mean, it's possible they were inked, but if they were, then... let's see, this one, yeah, this one was for this pen here. This one was inked. It was pretty dirty. A little bit of corrosion on the cap band. And That one's still got a little bit of ink in it, but not too much. I'll clean that converter later. All right, so we clean that one, we clean that one. This one we got to do by hand. This one we're going to do by hand. Kawasaki and the Pro Gear Slim nibs in there. I think that's probably it for this tray. A little bit of ink in here, not too bad. Looks like Waterman. Or Sailor, maybe. Maybe in another life. What a cool collection to be is Japanese pens with Zogan inlays. That would be a neat collection. Oh, well, you know what we can do with this? Hang on. Let's be smart about this. This is a Sailor. Let's get our Sailor maintenance kit here. Any more pen shows for me besides Oh Hi Oh? You love your Pilot Custom stripe for that cool nib, yeah. No, I don't think so. Look how great that is. Sucks it up. We had talked about maybe Dallas. Maybe next year doing Dallas. It would be a different geographical region. So there we go. That's... Next year I should do Melbourne. You know, I actually made the pitch. Last week. So at least I have these conversations every once in a while where you keep being told you need to go to Dallas. I mean, last time I went was like 7 years ago. It was a really good show. But it was only a 2-day show, and now it's like a 4-day show. But Lisa and I have these conversations every once in a while where we go, okay, no, no judgment, let me get it out kind of conversations. Like you can't poo-poo the idea. And then that way, we don't have to worry about, it's brainstorming, right? And so she asked me, she says, well, if you could go to any show, where would you want to go? I mean, we used to do all of them, except for Miami. And I did that a couple times. And so we went, we did, okay, well, that's really a very effective converter. I pull it out and it's completely full. Look at that. It's all the way back here. And so we're going through the calendar. Okay, well, Philly, no, I don't really want to go to Philly in January. I mean, it's problematic. We've gotten stuck in Philadelphia more times than I can count. It's snowy, You were a little kid when Kennedy was shot, but your parents mourned for decades. Dallas always still hesitation for you. Ted Lasso calls it Oklahoma, saying what's on your in no judgment. Okay. So Philly's a no. They just can't do it. It's one of those. Now, and Penn shows have changed in the last 7 years since I've been to every one of them. But Philly was always not that big. My fear is I'm going to get there. I'm going to walk the room. I'm going to buy what I need to buy. And then that's it. Well, I can't get this converter off. I don't think I'm going to try to take it off. You were stuck in Philly and just twitched last Thursday. Our flight got canceled and I got to spend 24 hours. So Philly was a no. I did Baltimore this year. And then there's LA, which would be great to go to, but I'd have to fly. That one we'll have to figure out. It's too far to drive. I've done it. Baltimore, I think I'll go back. That's March. You've got Atlanta, maybe. Come to Baltimore again next year. We can hang out at my brother's place before, during, and after. Yeah, and the barbecue place, because I want to go back to that barbecue place like something else. And get the chocolate cake, again, because I don't need it, but I want it. So I did okay in Baltimore. Atlanta, they always say it's barbecue's a must. Yeah. I would say, oh, well, Atlanta's a good show. It's a happy show. It's a friendly show. I really don't care. I mean, I do care, but my main number one is it's got to have pens. It got to be stuff for me to buy. So Atlanta, maybe. And we're going down the list. I said, well, how about tips? Pens for me are like chocolate cake. Yeah. Don't need them. Gotta have them. I said, how about tips? And Lisa just like, I said, you can't say anything. We're brainstorming here. What if we go to Tokyo? How great of a trip would that be? Somehow we determined that maybe was not the most fiscally acceptable solution. I'm not going to try to take that off. It's stuck. I'm sure it would come off, but I kind of think at this point we don't need to get it off. Atlanta to Japan, yeah. The other option was oh shit. Excuse me. What is it? Is it the Montreal show? Sometimes you guys say, "What the hell, Tokyo would be so good." It would be so good, wouldn't it? I think there's two budgets if you go to Tokyo. There's the normal budget for buying pens for resale. The Toronto. That's the one I'm thinking of. Toronto. Yeah. I bet it would be good, but it's one day. There's the normal budget, and then there's the other budget, right? The stuff that you're going to keep. And it needs to be like double what it normally is because you want to go to the Montreal show? It's a 6-hour drive for you? Yeah, I mean, if it was 6 hours for me, I would go. That stuff you put on the credit card? Gary, I hope we meet someday. I am. You've never seen me at a pen show. I could buy tables. I would buy tables. Oh, credit card? You'll take a credit card? Got it. Add them all up. And if I was in Japan, oh, Lordy. That would be just something else. Well, this has got quite a bit of ink still in it. Let's try this again. I think they still do make this Sailor maintenance kit. I think I might have one in stock, but you'll meet me in Tokyo and carry all the pens for me? Oh, wouldn't Lisa love that? You'd love to see a pen haul from Japan? Yeah, it would be insane, wouldn't it? It would literally be one for the store, one for me, one for the store, two for me, one for the store, three for me. Toronto's more established than Montreal. Both are packed in just one day. Yeah, I mean, I kind of need it to be big enough that it's 2 days, and I don't know why. I mean, I guess, I prefer a multiple day show. All right, what do we got cooking here? These are disgusting. You would go nuts buying Urushi pens? Yeah. If I were in Japan, I would buy like every pre-1960 Sailor, every one of them. I just go from table to table. I would have whatever phrase memorized, written on a card. Do you have any vintage Sailor pens? I'd have it printed out. Sailor Magna. Does the Ohio show have enough to make it worthwhile? You get the pre-60s pilots. There we go. We can split it up. I'm negotiable, right? You're gonna carry all my stuff. You can have all the pre-60s pilots. Every one of them. Yeah, I think so. I like the Ohio show. I always have. Lisa always gives me grief. You always say it's your favorite show. Well, it is kind of my favorite show. It's in December this year, which is kind of weird. But it's always been the end of the year show, and it's been kind of like, it's just so where you go and you just kind of let loose. There used to be a vendor there that had Japanese pens, which was really interesting. And they were actually a local Ohio company that also sold. It was very interesting company. They also sold vintage bikes and Grand Seikos. So it's like, man, I'm going to dump a lot of money at this table. Your Japanese collecting has slowed down a lot, so you're welcome to most of your share. Well, I got to tell you, when I got that offer on that, what was that, 1940s Pilot, I was kind of thinking, wow, I probably shouldn't keep. I mean, it'd be definitely one that I would keep because those are of interest. But I thought, wow, maybe I should trade that to David. But I do like that era. But I don't really have a good picture of it, so we need some Asahi Super Dry after all the hard buying. Wouldn't that be fun? All right, well, I'll get on Lisa. Maybe next year. You would buy it since you love knee plastics? The problem is I have this picture of this collection, and all the pens are capped in a binder. I have no idea what the filling system is on this pen, or, is it a lever filler? Could be. Is it eyedropper? Could be. Is it damaged? Could be. Does it have a nib? No idea. Oh, actually, I do have an idea. I think they do all have nibs, but I was working on pricing the lot just before the stream today. Hey, nice to meet you in DC. Tokyo's only 10-hour flight for you. It was busy, really busy show, wasn't it? My new normal is going like the first 2 days of the show and then noping out the rest of it. Saturday was nuts. It was insane. I wanted to go, and usually what I do on my last day is, yeah, I want to see that Pilot you got when you clean it up. I bet it's great. Usually on my last day, I go by and I say goodbye to all my friends and, walk to each table. And I just said, there's no way. I wanted to go stop by the Franklin Christoph table. And it just was not happening. Said goodbye to Joel Hamilton and lots of dealers bugging out early on Sunday. So good. If you were at the show, so good to see Joel Hamilton. What a guy. He's been through a lot. Just so happy that he came to the show. Nice tray of pens. I hope people bought his pens. I was actually tempted to buy a couple of his pens. I should have. He had a couple of nice sailors. Most dealers were still there when you left at 11:45 Sunday. But Joel lost his wife a few months back, and just good to see him. He couldn't bring his sister, but that's all right. Couple of nice, a lot of nice Omas, actually. I got to email him and ask him how he did. I've known Joel since my first show. Before that. There we go. I love Sailor converters. Good stuff. This is the only part that I recommend anybody ever take apart. Because you can, and it's not. I guess that's for these two. Those Kawasaki had a hard life, but it's really got some interesting. It's interesting wabi-sabi, I guess. It's not too bad. Got a lot of ink in it, that's for sure, though. Holy cow. Why are Sailor nibs and feeds so difficult to remove on modern pens? Yeah, they're pretty tight, aren't they? I need to get some more water. Hold that thought. These guys here are a little too dirty. We used to swap nibs a lot, especially at shows. Back in the early days when it was super easy to swap nibs because there really were only a few options. Your 1911 standard, swap with your Pro Gear Slims. Your 1911 large, swap with your Pro Gears. Boom, done. Then they started getting complicated. And you couldn't do that anymore. But we were always told, well, you really can't tell Sailor Japan that you do that. Because they don't want you to remove the nib. They want no part of that nonsense. We're going to ink up. I'm going to get this all nice and inky now. They're not too bad once you get the hang of it. They're not as bad as Platinum. You use permanent inks to draw with, and you need to clean the nib. Now I forget using Sailor nibs to draw with. Platinum was the one we always had the problems with. I mean, I would wreck my thumb trying to get a nib out. It just wouldn't come out. Which is kind of how you want it to be, right? You don't need it to be. Oops. Hey, Drew. Excellent choice for beer. But yeah, with Sailor, I mean, this is how I did it. It already started to come out. Piece of cake. Do you use Rapido Ease for permanent inks? They can work really well on them. Yeah, Rapido Ease is great. Glad I finally got some. You have a 3776 cellular that's stuck in the nib. We'll take it with me to Japan to get it fixed next time. Cheers. All right, I think these are all clean. All 21 of them. Next stop. No, that only took 2 hours to clean them, right? I guess that's not too bad. 2 hours for 21 pens. Next stop, we're going to test them all. And we will use this guy. Where's my ink? There it is. Of course, then the fun part is I got to test them all, and then I got to rinse them all again. But that's why I use Waterman. Got the sniffles now. Time for cold medicine. Yeah, it's a little bit slender. It's got a just slightly triangulated. Actually, and I would call it a triangulated section, but it's angled in on the top. Show sickness. Yeah. Did you get it? Wow. So nice. It's kind of a gunmetal. First time in a long time you haven't? You know, you get so little sleep, you're up early, you stay up late. I mean, you got a lot of stuff going on, and, you know, it's no wonder you don't get sicker more often. $11.83. Kind of reminds you of an Aurora from the 80s. Yeah, I can see that. That's cool. Super nice. I really need to find my I have a set of cartridges that I made to go along with the Sailor maintenance kit. Essentially what it is, I cut the end off a pilot cartridge. And then I can thread it in here. Same with the platinum. I have them somewhere. I don't know where the hell they are. First time in a long time you haven't got the show crud. That writes great though. Holy cow. I guess the nice thing about the Con 40 is it doesn't fill up the entire barrel, so just enough for me to. This guy's a little rough. This one here. This one was used too. How do we say this? This is black. $14 karat fine, but it's really, really a little bit springy. Show crud means got sick after attending DC show? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was out yesterday. I'm not one to take a sick day, but can they bring back the Con 20? Yeah, I know. There's nothing nice about the Con 20. Yeah, I don't usually take a day off because there's always work to be done. And if I don't have anything immediate, there's always organizing and lots of stuff. There's a lot of stuff cooking here that needs to be done, and I just don't have, there are not enough hours in the day. I don't have any help. It's not like before where we had, I had Dave, my manager, and had other people that could do things. But Lisa's like, just go home. Drive me in. Just remember to pick me up at 6:30. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to argue. There was no sense in arguing with that. That woman is right. All right, let's look at the Custom Slim. That one's okay. Ben, think cleaning is a good thing to do while under the weather. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to do anything that required taking much apart. I always tell people, I say, you know what, when you're repairing pens, don't repair when you're sick. Don't repair when you're mad, angry, sad, super elated. I mean, extremes in emotion are just terrible. I married well. Yeah, I sure did, didn't I? You use pilot cartridges instead of converters now? Yeah. The Mahjong A1 converter fits pilot perfectly. Interesting. You were surprised at the drinking culture in Japan. You were heading back to your hotel around midnight on a Tuesday night. So many drunk people. It was like New Year's Eve. Yeah. I don't remember what day of the week it was when we were there, but yeah, they were having a good time. Which I didn't think anything of it because I'm from Wisconsin, so which is maybe not something to be proud of, but yeah, that one's got a little bit of springy too. Depends, you're more excited about getting in the mail. You let sit a day or two before tearing into. Yeah, yeah, not bad. I mean, you could still stare at them and look at them. You know, I got those Estabrook prototypes at the show. You know, the first thing I wanted to do is the nibs don't line up with the levers. You know, I'm never going to use these pens, and I'm like obsessed over. Well, you know, it looks kind of bad. I said, yeah, that's an accident waiting to happen. All right, this is a 67. Wisconsin has a good Shiner Bock. Yeah, we got a lot of good beers here. A lot of good beers. Oh, I guess I better put that barrel back. I wonder what's going on with this. You haven't had a drink for 13 months. Good for you. You need to lose weight for an operation. You haven't missed it. Yeah, I cut way back too. I did. I cut back a lot. Um, drank more than I probably should have during the Chicago years, because of the Chicago years and everything after the Chicago years. Um, but now I can enjoy a good beer once in a while. Gonna be fine. Yeah. Nice writer. Very precise. No springiness to it though. Good luck. The rest of the pens. Have a great evening. All right. You too. So yeah, I'm not opening those prototypes. I wanted to. I had them photographed today actually for the new website, but I thought, that's just dumb. Who knows? I mean, only one of them looked like it maybe had seen ink. Who knows if they use shellac, or maybe they tried a different method to seal them, or who knows. More money for pens by not drinking. There we go. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind a social drink once in a while. And Ohio last year, I imbibed maybe a little more than I ought to have, but it's the last show of the year. Pilot Alabo. Nice. And it's got a number on the barrel too, which is kind of weird, huh? 128298. Don't know what that means. I've never seen one there. You imagine Chicago pizza and beer were a good combination. You used to live in Hyde Park and work downtown a few decades ago. Yeah, we had oh gosh, what was the name of the place? We had a great pizza joint behind our building. What the heck is it? It's killing me. They had a great thin crust, and I love thin crust. And I know in Chicago, I'm supposed to eat deep dish, yada yada yada. Um, yeah, what was the name of that place? I can't remember. I always look forward to going there. Except one of the last times I went there, we got a large pizza and 2 beers, and it was like $100 pizza beer. It was insane. I was like, what? What happened here? I mean, we got leftovers and all, but holy wow. Paredes? Is it Paredes? Is that the name of it? Can't remember. It worked out right behind the apartment building. There's also a sushi restaurant too, so right across the street from this place. Lisa would remember the name of it. I can't remember. Tariffs on Wisconsin cheese. Yeah, there's always Giordano's got a soft spot for me since that's where Lisa and I had our first non-date date 18 years ago. More than 18 years ago. 20 years ago, probably. All right. Next up, Urushi. Love going up to Devon for Indian food. Never went. Almost feel bad about inking these up, but you know what? Man's got to know. Got to know if I want to keep it or not. What are we at? 6. Oh. Oh. Now let's see. Are these all fine nibs or all fine nibs? Yeah. These two are identical. What a beautiful nib this is. Just a beautiful. Look at this. I love this era. H887. It's hard to beat a pilot nib, like on the 500 Super, the original custom NYU. Yeah. This is super nice. Super nice. It's only 15,000 yen. Back in 87. Bird is great. Probably should make that note on here. Well, Lisa did offer to buy me one of the new Sailor Rialos. If I kept 2 of these pens, it would be less than that. And those should be here. If you haven't seen the new Sailor Rialo, it looks very interesting. It's translucent gray, smoke gray. So think custom 823 smoke. Has a bigger capacity, 1.5 milliliters. And it has a special section so that you can unscrew the nib unit if you want to put, I don't know if this one would fit, but if you want to put the nib unit of another Sailor pen that you have, you can just literally thread it right into the pen. So you can swap nibs easily. No, they're not going to sell nibs separately, but if you have another pen that you want to swap the nibs from it, you can. Excuse me. This one feels a little bit more fine, even though it's still same fine nib. The pen looks a bit ugly. The bottom of the pen mechanism should not be transparent. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what when they come in. I'm not too bothered by it, but nice. Very precise. $18-karat nib too on that Sailor, not the 21, not 21, but the 18-karat nib. So we get to try all sorts of interesting new things on that pen. Higher ink capacity, ability to swap nibs out. And transparent for the first time, at least in the US. Yeah, I mean, they've been in Japan now for a couple of months. I first got one of them a couple months ago. And I got the announcement a week ago, maybe, that they're in the US, and I ordered them immediately. Simultaneously sold one immediately. So if you've seen it and you're interested in it, you want one, let me know. Fine, medium, and broad are the only nib options that are immediately available. Extra fine, medium fine, zoom, and music are available, but they're special order only. So they won't be readily available. I think they'll probably be here by next week. Urushi number 3. This also has an 890 14 karat fine nib. Non-Urushi. You know, an artist who does ink drawings, ink drawing of pens for pilot executives, they pay him in pens. You bought him a couple of pens from him. He looks after you. Great. That's the way we all want to be paid, is in pens. These are with convert. Well, those perform exactly how I expected them to perform. All right. We'll get through these. All right. Now, next up. I always love this Custom Grande. Such a great pen. It's good size, cool clip, pretty neat looking nib. Never used a Grande? H281, fine nib. It's really, really satisfying size. Really, very nice, smooth nib. Like it. With converter. These squeeze converters are great. I love them. They hold a ton of ink. The 80s and 90s. Yeah, this one, 81 on this one. There's the real distinct clip. You can't miss it. You just sent an email about Twitch using your stream to train AI. Okay. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I guess we'll find out. Do con beat converters last longer? The sacks easy to replace. I don't know that I've ever replaced a con beat converter. This one is not working all that great. It's not reinflating. I mean, we had this one come apart, which is literally just slips right on there. I'm going to put a little shellac on there. Looks like a tapered sack. Probably either a Skyline sack, or yeah. Thanks for the stream, always Joe. Yeah, thank you. You're off to walk your golden. Hope you have a good evening. Feel better soon. Yeah, thank you so much. Streamers have to opt out your IP and you may not be compensated. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'll look into it. So anyway, yeah, that's a B. And that happened purely by accident today. I put this in one of the other pens and it just literally came apart. Actually, I do see a little bit of residue in there, so I wonder if this one wasn't shellacked at some point in time. It's just a matter of getting that piece out, and it's crimped right there. See? I mean, you've got one. You know what I'm talking about. And if you can get in there and uncrimp that, you can be able to pull that out. Sorry for all my sniffling. Oh, I might not actually get through all these pens today. What do we got? What is this one considered? Rondi L. Well, it almost feels like a Rushi, but nice nib. Fine nib. 85. H985. Yeah, that works. Good looking nib. Yeah, I got to check. I think this weekend might be our pen club meeting too. I can't remember. No, it's third week, so it's not this week. It's next week, I guess. And this month, it's like a couple hours earlier, so it's a really odd time. I have no idea who the heck is going to even show up, if anybody. I think I'm probably going to flush these with clean water tomorrow one more time. Oops. You like your sailors, but you don't have a king of P beyond your budget. Used market is your friend. I think. What did I do with my converter? Where did that go? Sakes. Oh, there it is. Yeah, usually what you find, at least what I find with most Japanese pens, if they're not from Japan, okay, with that caveat, if they're not from Japan, they're usually and I'll explain what I mean by that in a minute. But if they're not from Japan, they're usually very well taken care of. If they're from Japan, you know, typically they've been used, and that was they've been used for their purpose. Well, it's very light. Oh my God, that's nice. My nib, get out of town. It is not. Yeah, very light though. Very light because it's not brass barrel. So what do I mean? You found Japanese do use their pens, but take good care of them. Well, especially when I'm talking vintage. Maybe not so much King of Pens because that's really kind of a new thing in the grand scheme of things. But like, you know, you're semi-modern. You're like 1970s in on pilots. I mean, some of them are just trashed if you buy them from Japan because they were an everyday tool. I mean, you know, I guess same could be said for 1970s Schaefer Targas and whatnot. But and I bought a lot of pens, not as many as some, but I bought a lot of pens directly from Japan, and they were a disaster. Buy that pen off. I mean, if you didn't have so many current bids in the North American Pen Auction for this Sunday, is that this Sunday already? I suppose I should look at that. I really don't. I really don't have any funds for that right now. I'm looking at buying a pen collection. So I don't know. All right. You got to get some work done. All right. Thank you. I will get better. You bought quite a few older pilots from Japan. You've been lucky as they all been good pens. Yeah, I mean, I just that I've seen a lot, and it's like, you look at some of the auctions in Japan, and I mean, they are heavily used. Heavily used. $10.72. So this is just called a custom. Very fine nib. You love the custom with the ingrained lines? Yeah. Yeah. Cool nib. This has got a cool nib on it. Very precise. Almost extra fine. This one have converter? No. This one, no converter. Oh, it does have converter. On 40 only. Fill's great, though. What a good, solid fill that is. Why do we need anything beyond this? I mean, look at the way this fills. One squish. All right, Gary, you got to head off. You got to get to the gym early. You got a lunch date at a Korean restaurant. Nice. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. All right, what's next? Kind of an average everyday Joe. Oops, drip some on there. Well, 4:30. Think we might make it. We might make it. Oh, no, that's nice. That's pretty nice, actually. I was not expecting it to be. I don't know what I was expecting on this one. It's just kind of your everyday run-of-the-mill 14 karat H187. It's not a custom. I got the catalog for it, so. Yeah, that'll work. Got double check the caps, make sure those are clean. Need more ink. Last pilot coming up. I'll spin these out tomorrow morning or something. I'm not going to waste time on a stream doing that today. What is this? This one was 16,000 yen. That's more expensive than the custom Urushi. The Grande Urushi. It's a lovely kind of a, it's not really a burgundy. It's really kind of a burnt. Oh, heavens. That's a nice nib. Oh, my goodness. I should keep this one. Medium. $12.79. You know when you just touch the paper. It's so nice. That's a winner. Someone's going to love that one. All right, how about some platinums? We're getting there. 2 platinums and then 5 sailors. 2 platinums and 5 sailors walk into a bar. Didn't quite get enough ink in there, but I think I got enough in there to give me an idea. There, I got the ink flowing a little bit better. Really can do a extra fine to extra fine. Slightly off. It reminds you need to follow up. USPS definitely lost a platinum pocket pen. It's been 3 weeks since it shipped. Made it as far as the local distribution center and vanished. Oh, that's terrifying. Okay, that's better. I've had 2 packages get misdirected at my local distribution center. One eventually made it. The other one, no idea. Thankfully, that one was literally like 2 sacks or something like that. Do something about the sniffle here. All right, last platinum. Classic Mach-E. Very nice. Rush Warbler, maybe? I'll have to check those patterns. I can't remember. There were a couple that looked near identical, and there were 2 series in the Classic Mach-E. One series did not have, which I actually thought were interesting, almost maybe more interesting subjects in the way they did them. Or they didn't have Mach-E on the cap, screen Mach-E on the cap. They only had it on the barrel. The other one is like Mount Fuji, Moon and Rabbit, and things like that. But all right, Sailor. I don't think this is gonna fit, but we're gonna use this. Yeah, no way that's gonna fit. But we're gonna use it to test it. It'll be goofy, but if I got ink on there or not, I can't. You can't tell. It's already Yeah, it's probably extra fine. What does it say? I can't remember. The only second pen you lost, the other was a blue bandless Model H. Oh, that sucks. Did I ever tell my misaddressed Esterbrook package story? Ever tell that story? It's terrifying. Hey, Colin. So, I had moved right after, I guess this would have been 2003, I guess. When I moved back. I was living in Florida for a while. And I moved back to Wisconsin in 2003 or 2000. And I lived in an apartment for a while before I bought my first house. And as collectors do, they buy stuff on eBay, right? And in 2003, fall of 2003, I bought my house, moved, forgot to change the address on eBay. Bought something right away. And it didn't come, and it didn't come. And I don't think tracking even back then was as prevalent as it is today. Yeah, my voice is. I got sick after the DC show. So I bought this, and I forget what it is now. It was a set. I want to say it was like an M2 set or something. Knowing me, it was like in the box. But it was definitely a set. I think it was an M2. And I don't think I've ever seen the pencil since. So this was an important set for me to get. And it was not expensive. I mean, it was probably not more than $30. But it took me a while to realize that it wasn't coming to my new house. I hadn't changed the address in eBay, so it went to the old address. So I drove to the old address, knocked on the door, said, "Hey, sorry to bother you. This is awkward, but there we go. I think I had a package shipped here for me. Forgot to change my address." And they said, "Oh, yeah, that sat on our table for about 3 weeks, and then we just threw it away." It's literally what they said. It sat on their table for 3 weeks, and because I didn't go and get it, they threw it in the garbage. It took all every ounce of my human being to not like go, what the hell? There we go. Shalana. I should have fallen to my knees crying. Yeah, I mean, it was just an Esterbrook, but sometimes those late model pencils are impossible to find. They are impossible. I was stunned. I'm like, you did what? Did what now? You never heard of Return to Sender? Doesn't live here? Any of that jazz? That's a nice writing, Shalana. That writes nice. All right, we got 10 minutes. So I got time to test 3 more pens. These should be straightforward. What number are we on? We're on 19, huh? Taylor Kabazaiku. It just has a cool name, too. That'll work. Nice fine nib. I'm saving the best for last. Yeah, needless to say, I changed my address and you know what? I'm just going to use that same converter so I don't have to clean all these converters. I changed my address like that night. All right, ProGear Slim. Seen some heavy use. This is a medium nib. Yeah, nice nib. All right, last one up. Burgundy with the zoom. Oh, a lot of pens to go through. Well, that's interesting. That converter doesn't fit for some reason. I paid too much for this pen, but I knew if this pen didn't have a zoom nib in it, I wouldn't have bought it. Because who doesn't love that? Awesome. Really awesome. It doesn't really seem to have as much line variation as the modern ones do. It's really more so at the upper end. But it has it. That's great. Really a great nib. All right, so tomorrow what I'm going to end up doing, probably. I wonder why that one converter doesn't want a seat in there. Probably going to flush them one more time with water, spin them out. Polish them up. They'll be ready for the podcast. Ooh. Yeah, that's nice. I wonder if I have a burgundy. I might check. I might trade this for one that I have. I think I have a burgundy. Although I think I had a burgundy last month, and I kept saying, "Well, I think I have one," and then I didn't have one. All right. That's about all the capacity I've got for today. I certainly used to have one. Yeah, I'm sure I did. I know I've got a ribbed. That's probably better if I'm going to have a old style Burgundy. I just don't remember. Don't remember anymore. Gotta look. I picked up a lot of stuff recently. Let's see. I should look at this real quick. I got this 75 cap soak in here. We're just gonna let that soak overnight. We'll look at that first thing tomorrow. Maybe we'll start ripping apart some snorkels. We can try those new snorkel tools. That would be cool. I got to look at that Tempo Red Esterbrook set for sure. I got to look at that. So we'll figure it out tomorrow. That's it for me. I got 4:59 and 49 seconds. Lisa's going to be barging through the door here any minute. I got some Lamy to check in and a couple other things to check in. So ta-ta for now. Have a good one, Captain. Have a great rest of your afternoon, your evening, your morning, wherever you are in the world. Be kind, be well, and we'll see you tomorrow, all right? Take care, everyone. Bye now.